everyone, and welcome to Rowdies Weekly. I'm your host, Heather Donnelly. To start off today's show, I'm joined by defender Darnell King. Darnell, tough loss against Carolina on Saturday. What can you take from that match?
It was a big eye-opener for us. Honestly, we played against the number one team right there, and it would have been great to beat them at home. But, it happens. You can't win them all, so you got to bounce back and then get ready for this game coming against the Strikers. So.
With you being a local guy from the area, you always have a big supporters group with you. Your family, your friends come out to the game. What's it like, especially after kind of a tough loss like Saturday, just knowing that they're there to support you after the match?
Oh, it's good to, have generations come and watch you, like when your grandpa's there to come and watch your stuff. It feels good, even on a loss, to have your family there. It's heartwarming. And not only them, even the fans, all the kids you get to see after. And to see the smile on their face, even though you lost, it's great. It's great to have them. So,
you guys went a really long time without losing. You went on a pretty long unbeaten streak there. So with this being, the first loss of the season, what's been kind of the mood of the team in the locker room and on the training field this week?
It's been a little bit more intense. Obviously, we're always focused, but I think you can see a little bit more intensity at practice. Even though it's been pretty hot out here, temper's been flaring, but in a good way. Obviously, we're using our anger and joy, putting it right into soccer.
After the game on Saturday, I saw you catching up with former Rowdy Brian Shriver. You'll be playing a couple former teammates throughout this season. A lot of guys went to different NASL teams. A couple of them will be playing on the Strikers. What's it like playing against a guy who you used to play with and used to train with and kind of know their tendencies?
Well, obviously, you got to see how they're going to play in their new team, which style they're playing. But yeah, you kind of pick up on their attributes, and obviously you got to put them to their weaknesses and not their strengths. Obviously, I knew Shriver was fast, so it was going to be a foot race between him and I always, and it was good. Obviously, the other players that I'm going to play against, I'll know their tactics, whoever they are. So. Yeah, playing against a former teammate is always fun, but at the same time, serious, and it's good to know their attributes so you can obviously stop them in their process. So.
This weekend you'll be taking on the Strikers, your former team. You played there for several years. Is this a game you especially look forward to every year? Yeah,
obviously being at the rival now, it's always a big game regardless. Going back to where I used to play, it's seeing old fans and a couple of old teammates, it's an intense game for me always. Every game is intense, but this one, it means a little bit more. Obviously, it's the in-state rival, and we're going for the Coastal Cup, and when I'm on this team, I want to win for the Rowdies, so that's what I'm looking forward to. What
do you know about the Strikers this season and what you'll be facing up against them?
I know they got a lot of skillful players, and individually we got to win our battles. That's very important. Other than that, I've kind of been focusing more on our team. Focus on our strengths, and then we go play our game, and hopefully we come out with the W. But that's when Saturday comes. Hopefully that's what happens.
All right, thanks, Darnell.
Of course, thanks.
And now I'm joined by head coach Stuart Campbell. Coach, tough loss last Saturday against Carolina. What lessons do you hope your team learned in that game?
I think we have to be more clinical in both boxes. I think between both penalty boxes we were pretty good. Unfortunately, defensively and most importantly attacking-wise, we weren't clinical enough. We had opportunities to get crosses, shots off, but we turned them down.
Carolina's goals came from some defensive lapses, just little mistakes. Are you glad those mistakes are being made early on in the season so that they can be corrected now?
No, never glad when we make a mistake, whether it's defensively or attacking. But I know it's going to happen, and when that happens, I want a reaction from the players. And I think every time we did make a mistake, we had a positive reaction. And as I said earlier, I just want us to be more clinical, more positive, make more positive runs into the penalty area of the opposition, and we'll end up scoring more goals.
You've mentioned being more clinical. How do you help make a team more clinical? What goes along with becoming clinical?
Just day in, day out on the training ground, we work on it. I just want us to transfer what we do on the training field, bring that onto the game day field, because day in, day out, the players are clinical in front of goal. They do make positive runs into the 18, so that's what we've just tried to reinforce this week.
Yeah, how has this week in training been so far?
Yeah, it's been great. They showed a very good reaction. Obviously, when you lose a game, you're never happy, but sat there on on Saturday night, Sunday morning at 3 a.m, rewatching the game. I was interested to see how the boys reacted on Monday, whether they'd come in feeling sorry for themselves or if they'd come in thinking, right, that's the first loss in a long time, we're going to go and put it right and get a good result in Fort Lauderdale, and thankfully that's what they come in. No one was down, no one was feeling sorry for themselves, and they've had a very good week in training.
Well, this weekend you have a chance to bounce back against the Strikers. They're a team that's at the bottom of the NASL table right now, but in a rivalry match, standings tend to go out the window. Teams play differently in those. How do you expect this match to be different because it's a historic rivalry?
Yeah, exactly. The form book goes out the window, doesn't it? It doesn't matter how many wins or how many losses each team's had. They come, they'll start. It will be a frantic opening. There'll be a good atmosphere, I'm sure. So it's going to be a good game for us. As I said earlier, it's going to be a high tempo game. So we have to make sure we're ready for it.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
This weekend, the Rowdies head down to Fort Lauderdale to take on the Strikers with kickoff set for Saturday at 7 p.m. You can watch that game live on One World Sports, and if you don't get that channel, don't worry, because the game will also be streaming live for free on oneworldsports.com. Thanks again to Darnell King and Stuart Campbell for stopping by Rowdies Weekly, and thank you for watching. See you next time.